Hello, everyone. Good evening. Hi, Emily and Dee and Autumn. Lurking and playing Sims 3. Ooh, that's fun. All right, so I am going to try and use the mic on my camera today, but if for some reason it is being wacky, I will switch to my headphones. Let's see. So yeah, today we're just gonna hang out. I'm gonna color some hair using my Procolours that I love to use. I'm actually only using 5 colors, which is kind of a small amount for me. Hi, Brooke. Yeah, so normally I use like 7 to 8, but I was keeping it simple. So yeah, if you have Procolours and you want to create the same hair color I'm going to be creating, which is kind of a, I don't want to say a dark, it's like a medium-ish brown, but I am using ivory black, chocolate, nutmeg, burnt yellow ochre, and just a touch of brown ochre when I want. It's kind of a sort of color I put in, so really I'm using like 4.5-ish. Hi, PJB. All right, so one thing I do have to do is, I always forget this. So for my daytime streams on Sundays, I open my blinds, and then my nighttime streams, I have to go back and close my blinds. I just have to adjust them a titch so I'm not going blind from the afternoon sun. All right. Yeah, so hair with prismas. I've been doing more hair with prismas lately. It's not my favorite just because they're opaque, but yes, normally I stick to like Procolour, Polychromos, Pablos. I actually like to mix them all, but this time I was just doing Procolour. Oh, and Black Widow. I really do like Black Widow for hair as well. Dust this off. She's been sitting here for a minute. The skin, however, is with Prisma. Skin always looks so wacky until you put the hair on. So it's like, I haven't buffed out her skin either with a blender pencil yet because I was waiting till I finished the hair. But this is from Mariola Budek's, Beauty Inspirations. Beauty Inspirations 2. So I started this one. I don't know why. Just something about it drew me to it. But I still need to like get her lip color and eye color in because it's just making her face look wacky. But I wanted to get the hair done. So yeah, I'm going to use my Procolours today. And all I'm going to do is just work on the hair, hang out, chat, because it's been a long week already, and it's like Wednesday. But that's because we are back to soccer tournaments. I'm just going to zoom in. So if you guys want to see how I do hair, you can. Yeah, we're doing the whole soccer tournament thing this week, so I am tired. And yeah, I wish it was already done. But we're on the last tournament, thank goodness. I did notice I screwed up her hair a little bit here. So I'm just going to go in there and fix a little flicky that got out of control. I may need to grab a piece of scratch paper because I haven't blended out my skin, so I don't want my hand to move it. Whoop! Let's just throw my black around. All right, there we go. My black pencil just like flew across the desk, but it's nice and hard lead, so it didn't break. All right. So what's everyone up to this week? Is your week busy? Tame? Anyone else doing sports tournaments? We did back to school shopping on Monday. That was, as my kids get older, the shopping gets more expensive. I'm not a fan. I need to get all these pencils in my other hand. Can't be having these on the desk. But yeah, we went back to school shopping, and I could not believe how much clothes cost. I was like, And my son, who wears just like, gym clothes pretty much, like that's the style, I guess. His were still expensive because, of course, the only gym clothes that he can wear must say Nike on them. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is killing me. I was like, no one will know. Ooh, a sunflower festival. That sounds fun. Nice and summery. I always associate sunflowers with the end of summer, August. I mean, we've got sunflowers blooming in our backyard, not on purpose. I think these houses were built like on an old sunflower farm or something because we're just like overrun with sunflowers. Oh, that sounds cool. Lunch with two college roommates. So it's kind of like a mini reunion in a way, huh? I never had or never got to have like the college life experience, the whole dorm room and stuff. I kind of wish I did. Like I moved out of state, but I ended up like renting a room instead of doing the dorms. And now I'm kind of like, I wish I would have had like that dorm experience at least once, even if just for a semester. It's just kind of like part of the whole college thing. But I'm sure I would have been pretty annoyed quickly into it. But that's cool. Yeah, so the soccer tournament we have this week is the last one of summer, thank goodness. But they're home morning games, and I was like, oh, it's going to be nice and cold. Oh my gosh, it was so hot. It was roasting. But we have games at 9:30. But luckily, this location is close. It's only a 20-minute drive compared to like the other ones we've been going to. So yeah, I was quite relieved about that because I can actually leave my house at a decent-ish time. You did the dorm for the first 2 years. Yeah, I just kind of wish that I would have done the dorm thing, but oh well. It's just one of those college experiences I think everyone should have. Regrets. I don't know. I only use this yellow sparingly because it's quite opaque for being a Procolour pencil. Oh yeah, community college. There definitely wouldn't be roommates, huh? Or dormitories and anything like that. But hey, nothing wrong with community college. Gosh, by the time I did go like back to school, by then I already had like a kid, and so my first time at school, I was, I could have done the dorms and stuff, but like I said, I rented a room and then I took a break because I decided to change career paths or education paths. I don't know. And then, yeah, by then I had a kid, so definitely could not do that. So you get to pick sunflowers. Ooh. Like, do you get to pick them to keep them? Or is it kind of like the grape harvest in Napa? So this is going to turn out a little bit more auburnish than I wanted, but oh well. It's because of the nutmeg color. It really has a reddish undertone to it. But my son and I, so my son is super tan, as you would assume if he's playing soccer all the time outside, right? But I tan very easily. And so the other day he made a comment about like how he's so much more tan than I am. And I was like, dude, do you want to have a competition? Because we can totally have a competition about this. It's like, I'll tell you what, the last 2 weeks of summer, I'll catch up to you and like just by going to your soccer games. And so today I was like, look at my arm after 4 games in the sun, because his first few tournaments all were night games, so none of us were in the sun. But he's like, oh crap, I'm gonna lose this bet. Because I normally don't sit in the sun or I'm like in the shade. But I'm like, nope, fine, let's have a tan battle. So yeah, My son is having a tan battle with me. But I had to sit in the sun at the soccer game so I could tan, and I was like, oh, it's so hot. And it wore me out. Sitting in the sun like just makes you tired. I don't know how the boys run in that. I'm tired just sitting there watching. And then my husband took the girls to the pool after, and they got all their friends over right now. So downstairs is chaos. It's like, good luck. I'm going to stream. Oh, you get to keep them. That's cool then. Sunflowers are so pretty. But yeah, like I was saying, I think this, like all of these houses by me, I think it used to be like a sunflower field or something, because all of us just like sprouted sunflowers like crazy. Our back pastures, our backyards, even though like we've all like graded our yards and had them professionally done, like sunflowers are just sprouting up like, yeah, taking over. But so that's my theory, is like it had to have been something with sunflowers out in these fields before they plowed over it and turned it into houses. But we have a whole bunch on the side of the house, and I don't want to pull them, but like we have to because they're blocking my fence. So, I'm like, oh, but they're so pretty. Sunflowers are gorgeous. I like coloring them though, especially around this time of year. And I have a WIP from last month that I think I'll probably work on this month because it has sunflowers. In fact, do I have that nearby? I don't. It's like a little sunflower house. I'm trying to remember the artist now, but it's on Etsy. I'm trying to use a little bit more of this chocolate color because the red brown from the nutmeg, I don't want it to be too strong. Originally, I was going to make a really dark brown hair color, but to do that, because with the Procolours, there's just 72 is the max you get with Procolour. And to make a dark brown, I need to add in some Black Widows, and I just wanted to do one with only Procolour. So I was like, well, we're going to have like a medium auburnish brown then. Oh, spreading the seeds. Yep, I could see that. Yeah, our whole neighborhood, all of us are like, what on earth? We all have like a major sunflower takeover. They're taking over. They're really pretty. It's just that like they grow fast too. I mean, like they just popped up and whoosh. But they're blocking one of our fences. And next Friday, we're actually hosting a laser tag party here for my son's soccer team. So I was like, kind of have to clear these out. And I hate pulling them because they're so pretty. All right. Now, I will warn you, I do have to sharpen quite often, but I'm going to use my doll so it won't be so loud. Hi, Allison. And then a farm down the road plants a whole field every year. Oh, yeah. See, that would be so pretty. We're still trying to figure out what to do with our back pasture. Like, we've tossed around so many ideas. We still want to build the kennel and boarding facility, but we'll still have, like, plenty of land left over. And at first, we were going to do, like, an orchard. But, I mean, Utah's really hard to run an orchard in. Our, like, weather is just not very kind, and it would be very limited on how many months we could grow, so it's kind of a waste of land, it feels like. But I don't know, we're debating what to do back there in our pasture, other than my husband has to get a brush cutter. Like every summer he rents a brush cutter and has to go down there and plow it down. It's quite hilarious to watch. It's a good workout, I'm sure. But we have like one area where we always like mow it out because my son practices his soccer out there with his little net and whatnot. But he can't practice in our backyard because our huskies keep digging holes. And the other day he like practically twisted an ankle in one. It's like, ooh, all right, move to the pasture. Start mowing out there. Hi, Shayna. All right. Yes, I am super happy this is the last soccer tournament because it just sucks up so much of your time. Like even now, I'm sitting there like, oh, well, they're morning games, I'll have the rest of my afternoon. But no, that's not how it works because then by the time I get everyone home and fed, it's already like 2 o'clock. And I'm like, there goes the day. Makes it hard to accomplish much. I washed my linens. That was about all I accomplished today outside of dropping some Etsy orders off at the post office. That's about it. Don't feel very accomplished today. So much red. Let's see how I like this color. I am leaving some white space too. She's going to have some super shiny hair. Yeah, this, what is it? Brown ochre is very yellow, so I have to be careful. Washing the comforter is the worst. It takes forever to dry. That's the first thing I wash always because I'm like, I got to pull it out. And then, like, you have to uncrumple it. They need to invent a dryer that can just straight up dry a queen size comforter in one go and me not have to sit there and like pull the whole thing out, untangle, get the wet side back in. Like these are adulting problems. It's so fun being an adult, right? Let's see. I actually had no intention of doing my linens today, but because my husband, when he got out of bed, accidentally like pulled the sheets off with him, it's like, well, it's already half done. I might as well just take them off and wash them. So I am just like mostly using the 3 colors and then putting a dash of my burnt yellow ochre in, and then every so often using the brown ochre. But like this is honestly one of the fewest number of pencils I've ever used in a hair color. I prefer to use way more, but I was trying to keep it simple for relaxation. Hi, Sue. I know. I just feel like as adults, all we do is laundry. You're like, my life is laundry. And then as you have more kids, you just do more and more laundry. And like today we had to, like in the washer, before I came up to stream, I was like telling my husband, I was telling my son, I was like telling everyone, I'm like, okay, listen, in the washer is, my son's uniform because he totally, at his game today, slid and got grass stains and mud all over him. So I was like, it's being washed, but it needs to go in the dryer. Like, we need it first thing in the morning. Please do not let me get off of the stream and have to go do this. I was like in panic mode over laundry. Like I said, adulting is fun. But I also wanted to get the stain off of it because, of course, the day he decides to do a slide tackle, he's wearing his white uniform. Why do they make white soccer uniforms? Like that one, I don't get at all. Like, they're going to be playing on grass. They're going to be like in the mud on occasion because this is a sport that plays rain or shine. And they make white uniforms. I'm like, thanks for stressing us parents out. Me and OxyClean are best friends. Yeah, that one I'll never get. There's actually a team they play against that has their away uniform is all white, like even the shorts. Whereas my son's is the shirt and the socks that are white. But still, I'm like, ugh. Every time he slides in it, I'm like, no, I'm gonna have to wash that immediately. I know, like white jerseys, I don't get it. That one just seems so silly to me. And especially in a sport where you were guaranteed to get like dirty. Like when he played baseball, they would have their white jerseys as well, but it wasn't, I don't know. I didn't feel like that one got as dirty as often unless he did some, slides into the base, and then I'm like, oh shoot. But for the most part, it was only like a few pieces of white too. But his away team jersey is like all white. And then we basically just have to keep buying new socks because I'm like, these things never clean. Forever and eternal doing dishes. I have like pawned dishes off of my kids lately. I'm done emptying the dishwasher. I'll wash the dishes because I find that relaxing, but I refuse to empty the dishwasher now. Like, that's on them. Yeah, the white baseball pants in baseball. Luckily, my son, anytime he was in baseball, we were able to, like with the teams he was on, he had gray and black. So I never had to deal with the white baseball pants for him, but just the jerseys. That dirt comes out a lot easier than the grass. The grass stains he gets in soccer, I'm like, knock it off. Slide tackle when you're wearing your blue jersey. Like, I don't need this. That's a lot of white pants. I never see. I normally don't have enough whites for a full load, except towels. Like, so all of our towels here at the house are white. I have a thing about it because I need to be able to bleach my towels. Like, a towel isn't clean if it doesn't smell like bleach. That's just I'm quirky. So all my towels are white, but it's because I want to be able to wash them on super hot water and just bleach the crap out of them. Emily. Hi, Emily. Welcome. And that's hilarious. She's sitting there Googling the white jersey. That's funny. It's the best to color or wear in the hot sun. That's interesting because, like, it feels like, wouldn't white be hotter? I mean, I know black would be hot, but I don't know. I don't know. White just seems, I guess it has its uses, but at the same time, for us parents who have to wash the grass, dirt, and sweat stains out of them, it's not so cool. Reflects the light. Good point. Good point. That's why he stays all nice and cool when he's got his away jersey on. Oh my gosh, there's one club out here that is all black. And their away uniform just has a white stripe. So their home team uniform is all black, like black shirt, shorts, socks. And then their away team has just a white stripe on the shirt. And I'm like, oh, that's just wrong. Process some laundry. Well, I hope my husband processes the laundry that's going right now, or I'm not going to be a happy camper. That's for sure. I did make a community post for the other giveaway from Sunday's stream. Time got away from me, and then I was like, oh crap, I didn't post that, did I? So yeah, if you want to enter in that stream from Sunday, you can. The information's on the community tab, but it's also on that stream now, so you can just go over there and enter. Because had a week. It's okay though. The kids go back to school on the 23rd, and then I can get back into my routine. Well, at least that's what I've been telling myself to get through the last few weeks of summer. I'm like, it's gonna end soon. It'll be okay. Let's see. That's true. Summer days they wear white and beige. Yours go back tomorrow. I'm so jealous of all these states that start school like super early. I feel it's unfair. Something's going on. Utah just wants us to sit here. Well, and then we were supposed to get our teacher list today, and they had to delay it because they decided to switch systems, like the parent dashboards that they have now that we all have to go into. Well, they switched it during the summer, and apparently it screwed up all the class lists, so nobody knows who the teachers are. And I'm like, I hope you guys have like a master list somewhere. But we're all like itching to hear who's got what teacher, because I guess so. My daughter, who's going into 6th grade, there's 6 6th grade teachers, which is kind of nuts. I can't believe how crowded schools are, but 3 of them, I guess, are like really mean. So I was like, well, that's a 50% chance then for you, kiddo. I hope you don't get one of those. But she's like been stressing. So when she found out that the list got delayed, she was just like, what? No. Like, sorry. I don't even know. They didn't even like give us a date of when we'll find out like who the teachers are. So I'm like, ugh. So she's just gonna sit there stressing herself out. I remember that though as a kid. Like there would be those teachers where you're like, oh my gosh, next year I hope I don't get that one. Had people that is true. Had people cleaning the clothes for them. Let's see. Just trying to get my sheeting up in there. Is it normal to always feel like you're missing a color with the core Black Widow sets? Yeah. I mean, well, are you talking just the Scorpion, Black Widow, and Cobra? Like the 3 original, the OG core sets? Because if so, yeah, there was some lacking colors. Monarch really helped kind of fill some gaps. Dragon kind of just... Dragon had some unique colors, but then also at the same time, some you could do without. But the Skin Tone Light and Skin Tone Dark sets can really help too. They have some good colors in there. Just depends on what you're using them for, I guess I should say. Like, because I like Black Widow. Honestly, I could probably do without the Dragon set because I kind of feel like a lot of those colors are repeats or close enough to where it's like not a big deal. But yeah, I would recommend like adding the Skin Tone Light and Skin Tone Dark into your core set, and that'll help cover some gaps. Or if you want to shell out a little more, grab the Monarch set. But like I said, it also depends on what you're trying to color. Like, are you doing portraits? Are you doing, like Johanna Basford and florals? Because that'll kind of determine what set would be better to add more colors. But the core sets were really bright and bold, and that was kind of what they were known for. So when he came out with the other ones, that's where he kind of started filling in the gaps. Yeah, see, like, so my kids, I have my one daughter can get the laundry started, but she can't reach inside to get like all the laundry out to put it like in the dryer because it's one of those top loading ones. But it's like, even for me, I'm on like my tippy toes. I feel like I'm like halfway in the washer trying to pull the clothes back out. But at least she can start the load. And then my son has no excuses because he's like as tall as I am. Not that I ever admit that to him. But yeah, he can do all the laundry. Does he do it though? No. I did make him at the last tournament though. I was like, you're doing your own laundry, like wash all your uniforms before the next game. And he did. He stayed up till like 11 o'clock and did it. Because I was just like, I'm too tired. But my big thing is my kids need to put their laundry away. Ugh. Oh, those grabber tools. I love the grabber tools. I should get one of those. I mean, I need it for myself though. Like I can't even like reach into that stupid thing. I am legit like have my body hanging in there. Like, oh my gosh. I hope this was meant for me to just like put my whole body in here to reach all my clothes. It's not made, or it's not friendly for the short people, that's for sure. Let's see. Can't get a really good combo for green leaves or gold medal. You know, I don't have my swatch chart nearby. Otherwise, I would take a look-see. However, the skin tone sets have some good for gold and silver combo. But if you're doing like green leaves and you want some more lighter hues, then I would just add in the Monarch set. Because you're not going to get much for green out of the skin tone sets. So yeah, it's kind of a... Monarch has a lot of pastels, so people often call it like a pastel set, but it had a lot of non-pastel colors too. But it did really help balance out all the brightness. Yeah, that's why I was saying the skin tone sets work good if you want to make gold. But it kind of just depends on what you color in. But if you want to do greens, then that's where you kind of are now leaning more towards the Monarch set. So basically, but you can get some good gold combos out of the Monarch set and leaves, sorry, not leaves, leaves as well. So that might be better. Black Widow is not exactly budget friendly. Let's see. Hi, B. Yeah, I mean, like for golds, I usually depends, but I actually like to use a black or a sepia, and then I'll have kind of like a burnt umber-ish color up in there, and then like a gold or a yellow ochre. And then of course I like to add a little bit of like cream in my highlights. If I'm doing more of an antique gold, then I have a little bit more brown. I even will use like some mineral orange sometimes, just kind of depends. I'm saying mineral orange because I often make gold with Prisma, if you can't tell. But yeah. So the equivalent of mineral orange, I guess I should say. I can recall combos from Prisma off the top of my head, but other pencil brands, I'm like, hang on, I gotta look at my chart. This big old section of hair, I don't want to come out too red, which is why I'm kind of like sitting here going back and forth. That's what I love about Procolour. Like you can just sit here and flick for years if you want to, and it'll still keep every little line in there. Oh, it's so pretty. far my favorite, and they do hold a point a lot longer. I need to do hair with the Irojitten pencils. That was my plan, and I haven't tried it yet because I'm like, no, I like my Procolours. But I need to do that. And then also I meant to break out my artist pencils, the Derwent artists, and try some hair combos. The only thing with artists that I could see like getting in the way is just they are so lightly pigmented. I don't know. Looking at my recipe cards. Oh, did you get the whatchamacallit? The monthly box? My brain. Not there. Yeah, the monthly box. So that monthly sub box sold out. I had one left by the 3rd, and then that one sold. So September's box, we're going to do 25. Now, October, I'm going to bump up a lot higher, but I can't bump up September much more because we've LEP, who does the trays for my kits, we've kind of like already negotiated out the lead time and stuff. So we've already printed. In fact, I've already got the trays for September kits. So, hi, Pam. But yeah, so there will only be 25 for September, and then I'm debating how many I'll do for October. I'm also right now debating between, so there's a black glitter or a purple glitter for the tray, and I can't decide which one I like better for my October box. So it's hard. Like, she sent me pictures so I could see how they would look, and I'm like, oh, I like them both. So I gotta pick one. I don't know. Like, I want to do black because, you know, Halloween and all that, but purple works too for Halloween. So I'm in a pickle. I have one more week to decide, and then I got to get my order in so she has time to print them all. But we'll see. I might just flip a coin at this point. I don't know. The black one looks really cool though with all the sparkle. It's really nifty. The troubles. Hi, Marilyn. Black Widow Gold, light brown, olive. Let's see. Ooh, Foxy Brown. Foxy Brown is one of my favorite colors. I use it for hair a lot. Gosh darn, Foxy Brown is probably going to be one of the colors I end up ordering when I do get open stock. That'll be one of the ones I order because I go through that one so quickly, and then I'll be like, oh crap, I don't want to buy another set to replace this one. But yeah, I need to like get a good order of open stock for him to make it worthwhile with the shipping from Australia. That's the one bummer. Sort of liking this. I feel like I should add a different one. Hi, Leanne. But yeah, I do keep meaning to order some open stock Black Widow, but I don't know. Sometimes I use them often enough to where I could buy another set and know that the other pencils in that set will get used up as well. Which I don't think there's a Black Widow color that I just have not used. I'm trying to think if I have one. They've all been used. Yeah, Space. So I went through Space quickly, but not necessarily because I used it a lot. So the first Space one I had broke. Like, it just kept breaking constantly, no matter what sharpener I used. And I had a few friends with the same problem with that pencil. So I'm like, did we have like a huge defective batch just go out of that color? So yeah, I had that with Space. So I'm now on like my 3rd one for Space, but yeah, the first one I don't count because I legit, like, I think I maybe got a good sharpen on that one twice. The rest of the time it was just constantly breaking, which was a bummer because I love using that one in purple hair combos. It's a really pretty purple. But Foxy Brown, yeah, is another one that I use a lot of. Oh my gosh, what's the other one? Oh, had the Forest Core. Well, that's definitely not close to one. Not even go to use that, and you're like, well, hello, green. Tarantula. Isn't that the name of one of them? I feel like, I don't know. I do go through. The one thing I gotta say about the Black Widows that suck is just, once the name gets sharpened off or the number, because they're always like, you'll either have depending on the set, a name or a number. Do I have any Black Widows up here? I don't. They're all down. Oh, wait, I do. Aha. For example, you've got, for this one, so this is a skin tone dark pencil, you've got the name here and the number here, but this is like midway through the pencil. So once I get there, the number's gone, and then the name is way up here. So it's like, okay, bye, color. Oh, speaking of which, I think I got a Foxy Brown hanging out up here. Here's my Foxy Brown right here. See? But the number is almost about to be sharpened off of that one. In fact, you know what? I might add one of these browns. Cinnamon. Maybe I'll add that one into this hair color, because I feel like I'm missing something. What else do I have up here? I have Mud. So I got a lot from the Skin Tone Dark. Oh, and another one I go through a lot is, what the heck is SC18? I can't remember. But that one, because the name was up here on the pencil, got sharpened off. So that's the one thing I hate about how they label them. Because, shortly, this SC18 is going to get sharpened off, and I'm going to have to, put it over here to remind myself what the heck this is. Because I can't remember. Is this tan? It's something. But while I have these here, I'm actually going to add cinnamon, I think. Where's my... We're just going to flip her real quick. I just need to see what this looks like compared to my nutmeg. They're too close. What about Mud? Oh, yeah, that might be what I'm missing here. Oh, yeah, perfect. Okay. Hey, good thing I have these up here, because I'm going to add this Mud in with my Black Widow. Dark tan. There you go. That makes sense. Thanks, Sue, for stopping by. So, since I happen to have some Black Widows up here, I'm going to add this Mud in here. Help complement my chocolate and not be as red. Yeah, there's quite a few browns I like from the Skin Tone Dark set, especially for brown hair. In fact, all these ones sitting up here were for a brown hair. I'm trying to remember what page that was on. Crap. Did I finish that one? I had to have. I started a brown hair with Black Widows. Oh, hi, Stephanie. Yeah, they should be at the bottom. Even these pro colors, about near the end, you're going to lose your name and number as well. It's just put it down here. I don't know. They know we're going to get to the end eventually, don't they? I don't know. Maybe they think we have endless. We don't use our pencils that often, but I need to get some little flicks into her scalp here. Yeah, I do love Black Widows for hair and mixing them with my pro colors, because both, for me, have a harder lead. I don't know. But I do need to sharpen. We're at sharpening time. Yeah, I do because Prismacolor does go all the way. I always have Prismacolors on my desk. Prismacolor number. I always go by the number half the time anyway, but that's almost to the end. Companies need to at least try to copy this. So, Because by the time it gets down to where that number is, I've either buddy taped it to like its replacement, or you know, it's like so far gone. But yeah, more companies need to go that lower. So on camera, this is looking a lot lighter. It's actually darker, but my brightness setting is up a little bit, and I don't feel like screwing around with it. So I'll take a picture after tonight's stream so you guys can see the color, because it's actually darker than this. Or at least on my screen, it looks a lot lighter. I don't know. She's got like a darker thing going. Yeah, I think I like the way, let's see, Prismas, and then even Polychromo goes down fairly good. I don't know with their numbers, but that's my one thing that like irks me, is when I sharpen away the number or name, and then I have to write it on there or remind myself what it is. Oh, at first I just read that you retired them, and then I saw that you wrote nubs, because I was like, wait, what's wrong with those colors? I like those colors. What did they do? Let's see. Oh, I do have a new Prismacolor chart. I'll be making a video. I didn't make the chart. It was sent to me, but it's actually really cool. So I'll be making a video soon showing that chart. I like the way it's arranged. It's similar to a Copic chart, so it's pretty nifty. Hopefully after all the sucker tournaments, I can, nope, wrong color. I need this color. I'll finally get back on track with all my videos. I still have to flip through Anastasia Koldareva's latest book that's been sitting here on my floor. Yeah, it's plastic wrapped. I haven't even opened it because I've been so busy. You need to just buy your Prismas in bulk in open stock form and get a nice big bucket like I have. Only sucky part is the bucket is upstairs in my art studio, and I'm usually coloring downstairs. So when I'm feeling lazy, I have my one daughter go get them. I'm like, hey, I need a replacement, and I give her the nub, and she goes and gets it. Parenting at its best. She actually enjoys doing it, though. It's kind of funny. The new chart is made by Mystic Sparkle Wings. She does a lot of the charts I use. But she did a new one, so I will be sharing a video for that. And then she's also redone her Ohuhu marker one. I have to fill it out first. All 358 colors. Whew. It's important for them to be exposed, but I don't know if it's important for them to just go fetch my pencils. I don't know how much exposure that is, but it works. Like, I don't feel like walking upstairs. I need this color. It's kind of a funky thing with the hair going on here. I don't know. This little wisp of hair. I always forget until I finally get into the stream how I tend to zone out when I'm doing hair, so then I have to remind myself that I am in fact talking to people. Yes, it is exercise and art, although I could use the exercise more than her, so I really should be the one getting off my buns and going and getting my pencils. Oh, think of the steps and calories I would burn. But no, that's too much work. I'll just dream about being thin. All right. Her face is going to look so much better once her hair is done. And she gets eyebrows and lips. It's funny, like when you do skin, how weird they look until you finish the eyebrows, lips, and eyes. It looks wacky. Maybe we'll put a little bit of this one in here. This one, like she had this little wisp of hair, and I put skin there because it was like obviously skin. But then over here, there was like hair strands. So I'm like, I don't know. So I'm going to leave this small little portion here. It's like a teardrop. I'm probably not going to color that in until I decide if I want to make that hair or skin. It's just a weird, I don't know. It's just strange. So I probably will make that skin right there. Just erase the grayscale that's in there. It's just a funky hairstyle when you got like these little wisps going like that. I don't know. This portrait though, like after I started it, I was like, it kind of has such a stern face. It kind of looks like a police sketch artist sketch. When it's not colored in, that's kind of the vibe I got. But once you start coloring it in, you're like, okay, she looks less like a police sketch artist. But yeah, it was kind of, when I first was looking at it, I'm like, I don't know about this one. This is a little too light right here. Grab my mud. So what's everyone coloring right now? Obviously, I'm coloring this, but anyone else doing portraits? Still too light right here. It's too light and too red. There we go. I'll probably keep coming back and like refiddling with that section because I feel like it's just not the color I want. Let's see. Nocturnes. I need to work in Nocturnes. I need to work in all of her books that I have. And I need to unwrap this one. It's still plastic wrap. Oh. It's so pretty though. from behind the plastic. It's funny because my husband's like, you got a package from like Russia. Like, it's a coloring book, dear. It's fine. A Princess Leia portrait. Ooh, who's the artist on that one? Is it like a realistic one or like a chibi art style one? Because I've been seeing a lot of chibi art Star Wars characters lately. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I was just curious. It's like become a fad or something. Whoever did the 1980 Empire Strikes Back coloring book. Ooh, I don't know who did that one. I'd have to look. Oh, you're just focusing on Nocturne. It is a really pretty book. The one thing with her books is the paper. Man, that paper. I struggle with that paper. Like, I want to use my Lumis so much on her portraits, but I hate the way the Lumis feel on that paper. Like, I tried doing skin with Lumis once on there, and I'm like, no. not going to happen. So I tend to use my Prismas. But yeah, I don't know. Does anyone else feel like the paper's just wacky? There's something with it. Like when it comes to the hair, I don't care what pencil I use because I do the flicking thing here, and this is pretty paper friendly. Even works on Create Space paper, but like when it comes to skin and like the other elements that I'm not just sitting there flicking, that paper just, I don't know, something up with it. The paper weird in Anastasia Koldareva's books. I just feel like it's, I don't know. I love her books and I have color in them. It's just I struggle with the paper in her books. But it could also just be my coloring style. You buy old coloring books? Like old coloring books as in used coloring books, or like something else? Oh, the back of Mythomorphia. I still have a page from last month I'm debating how to finish in Mythomorphia. Oh, that's interesting. But that would help you save a lot of money, especially if you can get some really like good books for cheap that are used and just remove the color. Thing with that is like I used to like, because there was a lot of artists that would release on Create Space paper and I would scan them, but I eventually just got tired of it because I was like, okay, I did not buy this book to just sit here and scan. So I've been searching just for PDFs now. But when it's like an older book, you know, something that's obviously not going to be found digital, it's pretty much your only option. Yeah, I kind of burned out from like trying to convert so many Create Space books onto paper I like. Oh, Holbein's. Well, we all know that's not going to work for me. No Holbein's. My Prismas work well on there, but yeah. I feel like my Prismas work well on all paper. But I'm also very Prisma biased, so there you go. Oh, Holbein's. Don't get me started on the Holbeins. It's funny, to this day, I still get comments on that Holbein video. My whole Holbein hatred. What can I say? It was just proof that there is not not every pencil works for every person. I am the Holbein hater of the coloring world. It's fine. I own it. Oh, why don't I like Holbeins? That's a really long explanation. I have a whole video on it. I legit regret buying those things. Now, they're just not for me. I don't know. With my coloring style, they get very sticky and weird, and they're incredibly overpriced for what they are for me, in my opinion, of course. And of course, way back when I initially got them, they were being so shady about their freaking light fast ratings. It was incredibly annoying. And now they're like, it's okay, here's our ASTM ratings. Like, yeah, only after you got criticized by like so many big artists. I don't know. I have a lot of reasons I don't like Holbein's. Performance though is mostly to do with performance. Like the company and all that other stuff is just sidelined. But they just don't work for me. But there's a lot of people that love them and they work great for them, and that's just fine and dandy. Just like I love Prismas, and there's quite a few people that don't like Prisma. I don't take it personally. I love Lumis. Not on the Anastasia Koldareva book paper though. I tried it once on there, and the skin turned out so wacky. But again, I am a lot heavier handed with my coloring style, so that also kind of plays a role in it. Except when it comes to hair, as you can see, I'll sit here and layer hair for like 5 hours. But when it comes to everything else, I'm quite heavy-handed. So let's see. You can't use Lumis or Derwent drawing. Yeah, I mean, I've had good luck with Prisma. I've never tried Arteza on hers, but I'm not the biggest Arteza user. But I do like my Prismas on her paper. And then for hair, like, I'll still use whatever I like because it's not a biggie. I have tried Pan Pastel on her paper, and they actually stick quite nicely on there. Because I did like a base for skin on one of her pages. You had to sign for it? That's weird. I mean, they delivered fine. My husband was just like, what the heck are you ordering from Russia? Like, it's a book. What else would I be ordering? What else comes to our house than coloring supplies? Let's see. I mean, Crayolas are a harder lead, so if you're heavy-handed, they're going to indent the page for sure. It would be like me taking these Procolours and being heavy-handed with those or pressing too hard. But Crayolas are pretty hard lead. To me. I don't know. We're all different in how we use them, so our idea of pressure is also different. I'm so happy this lone Black Widow set was up here, so I could add this extra little bit of brown, because I'm liking that a lot better. And she's not so reddish. Oh, you base with pan pastels or a marker on her stuff? I need to practice the art of marker basing. I'll be honest, I don't do it very often. I don't know why. I just for some reason struggle with it. Like I'll try to do it and I make it harder than it should be, I think. I'm overthinking it is my problem. But I also typically color dark to light. And when you're marker basing, you're putting down your lighter color. So I think maybe that's what's throwing off my game. I don't know. Something's throwing me off somewhere. Need to sharpen this mud. Is this? Yeah, it's mud. So funny because I'll sharpen just do 2 cranks, but it's makes the biggest difference in the world. Yeah, I need to practice my marker basing because I seriously make it harder than it should be. Let's see, I want this to be a little dark. I'm gonna create a shadow with this little wispy of hair. I need to use my pan pastels for skin tone more though, and backgrounds. To be honest, I've been like just pulling out gel crayons. Now that I think of it, for backgrounds. I do pan pastels like maybe once, but gel crayons just seem to be what I grab lately. My poor pan pastels are just sitting over there. Although I have a feeling the shelf life on my pan pastels is going to be much longer than any gel crayon, so maybe it's not a big deal. Like my gelatos are already starting to get hard and crumbly, and it's really weird. And I don't like leave the lids off of them. They're stored in like these little wooden boxes. Yeah, I've noticed they're getting hard and crumbly, and it's rather annoying. Excuse me, considering how expensive gelatos are. I don't know if anyone else has had that problem with their gelatos after having them like for a year or two. Wow, Nightbot, you just totally spammed all 3 of those messages. The timers are spaced further apart than that, so that's interesting. Nightbot's not listening today. Yeah, I think I did like a WIP in chat. Maybe it was last week, the week before. And I mentioned that I noticed my gelatos were doing some crumblies. It's getting rather frustrating. And then I've got like my King Art ones, which are not super cheap, but I mean, they're way cheaper than gelatos, and they're staying super creamy, but they're also full of like just gel filler. So I don't know. But yeah, my gelatos have been kind of annoying me because the crumble is just like, it gets all over the place and it just clumps in my brushes. In fact, I have a whole pile of brushes I need to wash. Your gelatos have water inside them? And hi, Shannon. Did you put water in them, or they have water in them on their own? And you don't have any trouble with yours? Yeah, it could be my climate. I mean, it is freaky dry where I live, but so that would make sense. But it's really frustrating because I spent a pretty penny on those. And I've noticed it happens even more with the non-iridescent ones. Something in that formula, I don't know. Oh, that's weird. So, like, they just liquefied or separated, I guess. I don't know. That would be even more frustrating because then that kind of. I'd rather take the crumblies because at least I can sort of use that. Well, that sucks. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Gelatos, I think, are incredibly overpriced for what you're getting. I mean, heck, I got those shuttle art ones that aren't too shabby. Oh, I finally got the silky crayons. They were like out of stock on Amazon forever, and I finally got me some of those. Need to try those. They're just sitting downstairs in my office waiting for me to bring them up here to the art studio. Let's see. Yeah, send me a picture. I'd like to see that. That's nuts. I'd be so mad. Like, because I mean, one little set of, gosh, what do they come in? Sets of 12? I don't remember. I know they say like 15, but it's not actually 15 or something like that. Packaging is misleading. But they're not cheap. And then if you go to buy them open stock, which you can, I mean, that's one nice thing, but they're not cheap that way either. So that would suck if they like turn or liquefy. Five years old and yours are still good. Hi, Leslie. I'm jealous because mine, yeah, mine have been getting crumbly. And I do like them for dry backgrounds. I rarely activate my gelatos. I did when I first got them, and then I realized I liked them better dry. But yeah, when they're crumbling and like gooing up my brushes and then just leaving crumbles all over my desk, it's kind of like, well, But I mean, the filler in these cheaper ones can build up and you can't get as many layers. However, but I don't really care about the light fastness, so I guess I'll just deal with the extra filler. I don't know. Just can't win. I mean, but it's like a bunch of my gelatos, like from different sets. So it's not like just one set of gelatos, you know, and I've acquired my gelatos over time. Like I didn't buy them all at once. Like I would buy a set here, buy a set there. So that's what's strange about it, is it's not just like there's no consistency. Because otherwise, yeah, I'd be like, oh, it's just a bad batch or formula. But no, different sets and different times I purchased. Because I think it took me a year to finish out my whole set, and then they go and crumble on me. So I'm like, oh, cool, awesome. Let's see. It looks like this one goes under, so it's going to be darker. This is like one of these pictures with not a lot of hair on it, but yeah, it's going to take me a while. Because I like to sit here and flick Procolours. So, you know, the whole SpongeBob 2 years later. That's how it sometimes I feel like, but it doesn't bother me. It's quite soothing and relaxing to just sit here and flick in strands of hair. Yeah, the King Arts. See, I don't have a problem with the King Arts because mine, like I said, you know, they have quite a bit of filler in them and you can feel it, but hey, like it keeps them soft. So, but yeah, my King Arts I don't have any issue with. It's my stupid gelatos that are crumbling. They're just falling apart. Apparently, they're delicate. But I'm curious if anyone else lives in a dry climate and their gelatos are being like mine. Because, yeah, that would be interesting if it is the climate. Would suck, too. Yes, please lurk, but don't just listen. Don't watch the chat or anything. Drive safely. I think this one will turn out pretty. This section is still bothering me, but I'll come back and get it in a second. Let's do a quick mini sharpen. Maybe I'll give her some eyebrows so she looks sort of normal. Haven't decided on her eye color yet. She actually has some makeup I put on when I was doing her skin, but I'm probably gonna Add a little bit more makeup. I mean, but the paper towel would only say damp so long and or mold. I don't know. Be an interesting experiment. I'll take a look after the stream. I'm curious about these liquefied gelatos. Yeah, for her eyes, I don't know. I usually default to green, but I'm trying to stop doing that. So I'm thinking I might give her brown eyes. But yeah, she has some makeup on, and I want to touch it up. I might change it out too, because she's got just like light pink, and I kind of want her makeup to be a little darker. Oh, thanks, Sharon. It's coming together. Getting into the awkward corners and angles. Like, a lot of people ask me if my wrist ever gets tired. It doesn't, though, but it's because I'm not using heavy pressure, and I'm really just kind of naturally using the flick. So it's like, I don't actually ever get any hand cramps doing this. I get more hand cramps just coloring the skin, to be honest, or a flower, than doing all the hair that I do. But yeah, I don't know. It's just like I naturally flick. Like I said, I'm pretty sure I do this in my sleep. Don't like this angle. Yeah, I've had people ask me like how to do this without getting a hand cramp, but I just am very light and just letting my hand naturally keep going back and forth. So it doesn't bug my wrist, but it's not to say it won't bug anyone else's. It is actually a new combo. I just grabbed some Procolours at random, but I have like ivory, black, chocolate. I added in mud from Black Widow during the stream because I decided it needed more. Then I have nutmeg, burnt yellow ochre, and then brown ochre, but I'm not using brown ochre a ton, just in select areas. But yeah, I haven't used this combo before. A lot of my brown combos with Procolour do have, whatchamacallit, the ivory black in it and chocolate. In fact, I'm, as you can see, on some open stock. So, because here's my other ivory black needle baby one, and I didn't feel like constantly putting this in my Tagal and sharpening it for the stream. So that's why it's sitting off to the side all lonesome. I've been really naughty, though, about writing down hair color combos. I need to go back to where I used to just take pictures and put them on Instagram for you guys. Because I've been so lazy about writing them down while I'm coloring. So people will be like, oh, what colors is that? And I'm like, I don't know. I think there was a black in there and a brown of some sort. Maybe 6 different browns. Like I did a combo with Black Widow not too long ago, and I really loved it. And I'm kicking myself because I'm like, what did I use? And gosh, there are so many browns and tans and Black Widow. So I'm sitting there trying to recreate it. But I don't think I've used the brown ochre, but burnt yellow ochre I've actually never used. It wasn't even sharpened in my Procolours, so that's why I was like, we're gonna throw this one in here, see what happens. With Procolours, it's hard to do a full purple. It can be done, but the range of colors in the set aren't very good for purple hair. blue hair, I can make quite a few blue hair combos. Greens, I can do quite a few greens. But mostly like brown, blonde. Crap, what is the blonde one I did the other day? But yeah, and then of course I can do black hair with the Procolours because they have a good selection of dark blues and grays in there. Well, enough, I should say. Not a good selection. It's 72 pencils. There's only so much. You write them down and never look at them again. See, like I was so cute. I got like this little bullet journal and I'm like, look at me. I'm so professional. I'm going to write down all these combos. And it's funny. You'll see like it skipped pages. I think it was like a New Year's resolution too or something that I've totally failed. But yeah, like I remember I went to open it the other day and put in a combo and like the last one was like 2 or 3 months ago. And I'm like, wow, I'm really sticking to that. And I have it right next to me. It's just like, especially with hair color combos, I just grab pencils and go. I don't know. And then I'm like kicking myself later. It's like, what was that again? In fact, there's this Auburn one I did with Loomies a long time ago. And I've been like going back through my Loomies and trying to figure out what the heck I did. Because I'm like, I want to redo this one. And I didn't write it down. But also like, differing pressure and like just, you know, if it's like over a year ago, I could have been using them differently because like the way I do hair, I mean, the flick motion has always stayed the same, but like, you know, you just get more skilled at it. So obviously how the color turns out is going to be different as you keep going on. So even if I take the same combo, sometimes I still don't get the exact same result no matter what, but do want to find that Auburn one and recreate it because it was so cute. See, this one is bothering me. I've noticed like if I have a WIP, I'll write the colors down usually. I can't work at that angle. She's going to be upside down for a minute because my hand naturally curves this way when I'm flicking. Oh, this one's like a big chunk. That's kind of weird. I love Mariola Budek's hair, though. She does the best hair. I'd say Lana Green's hair is pretty good too, though. Kundank's art, I love the hair she does as well. They all keep it nice and light and flowy, and their grayscale isn't just like too overwhelming. But also they actually clump it nice the way they have their little clumps because I work in clumps when I'm coloring it. So I really like the way they do theirs. Some of Lana Green's are pretty tight. Like there's small spaces sometimes on some of her images. So it makes it harder because I'm like, oh, I gotta flick in this tiny little corner. Melissa G. You know what? She probably does actually, because anytime I'm working on a picture, I'll send her it and be like, oh, here, look, I made this combo. And she'll be like, what is it? And I do tell her the combo. So I wonder if she has them all written down. You should ask her. Like, hey, by the way, did you happen to like jot this down? But yeah, she does have quite a few of mine. She's hilarious. But I used to like just pop them on Instagram or the community tab kind of as a way to remind myself to tell you guys what the heck the combo was. But then I just kind of stopped doing that. I need to get back to it because it's a great way for me to go backwards and remember what the heck I was doing. But also back then I was doing a lot more hair tutorial videos. So I'd have like all the color cards already made. Oh, I'll ask her. I talk to her every day. I'm like, where's my hair combos? I need those. Most of the time now, though, with hair, I just kind of grab pencils and go with it and see what happens. I don't know. Because hair can be so complex, but that's what makes it fun. You can like grab almost any combination of colors and make something happen. Oh, yeah. Color soft in hair. No. I did, in fact, there's one on the wall in my art studio here. I did that hair in color soft for a tutorial out of a request, and oh, that was just, yeah, that was painful. Very painful. And the color soft kept breaking. I try to love Derwent Color Soft. I really try. I try so hard. I give them more of my attention than the ChromaFlow, that's for sure. But yeah, the Color Soft for hair, those things just way too soft. Usually I like to stick to the harder leads. But I mean, I've done hair with Prismas before. It's just you do it like with Prismas, for example, I do hair a little differently because they're so opaque. I couldn't sit here and like flick and layer for days like this because, yeah, you can't do that with Prisma. They're too opaque. They would cover each other up and just create this nasty little buildup of wax. So have to approach it differently. And then it's not as therapeutic for me because I actually enjoy sitting here just flicking for hours. So Sabrina, Procolour were actually created for fur and hair type situations. Fun fact. But the Procolour are really rough getting the pigment out, yes. However, when you use them for things like hair and fur, that's when you actually get like a ton of pigment because they're designed to just layer and layer and layer. Like I can sit here and add like 50,000 strands if I wanted, and you would see every single stroke because that's just what they were made for. But outside of hair, I don't use my Procolours for things that don't have a flicking motion involved. Yeah, so I keep meaning to try out my Derwent Artists for hair. And I was saying earlier in the stream, I also need to break out my Irojitten pencils from Tombow. Because that was the whole reason I was like, hey, these might work out well. Because they're also a hard lead, and I don't feel like the pigment comes out of those very well. And I feel like they would work similar to Procolour. But the one thing I like about Procolour is they are, despite how hard these things are, they are predominantly wax. So it's nice because they kind of get this little sheen to them, but you don't get the wax bloom and you don't get the buildup like if you were using something softer, such as Prismacolor. But yeah, it's just interesting because these are like freaky hard pencils, but when you do them for hair, they work great. But like if I sit there and try to color with them just regular or skin, oh my gosh, skin, ugh. Do not do it. You'll be there for days. Do I use a specific sharpener? Not really. To be honest, right now, for the sake of your guys' ears, I'm using my Doll 133. But downstairs, like in my room where I tend to color most, I'm using my AF matte. And then for this little poor guy that's on its last leg, I'm using my Chagall. Really, as long as you just have a sharp point, that's all you need. And then you have to just constantly turn your pencil. Otherwise, you're going to be sharpening a lot more than you should. So just keep turning it. Like flick and turn, and then you'll do it without even knowing you're doing it. But it just helps keep the point sharp and the point sharp longer. Wow, words. I was in the sun too long today. But then yeah, you won't go through your pencil as fast. And even like you do want to sharpen them frequently, but you're literally like barely sharpening anything off. You're not going to wear through them because it's a hard lead. You're just adding that sharp point back. Because like right now they look sharp, but they're actually starting to dull out a little. So like I literally give it maybe 2 cranks on the, that's all it needs to get back to that super sharp point. But like these Procolours, I don't know, I can't even tell you how many portraits I've done and how much hair I've colored with the same set before I finally had to buy a new pencil. And it was the black one, was the first one I replaced. So they like last forever. But like if I were to do this, this much hair, or all the like portraits I've done in like Prisma for the hair, I would have probably gone through like 50 of the same color. No, I don't use a colorless blender. Au natural. I just keep flicking in colors until it gets the finish I want. But I don't use any colorless blender on any of the hair I do. I just keep flicking. So even whether it's Procolour, Crayola, or anything, I just keep adding in the color and the layers till I get what I want. But that's just the way I like to do hair. I like to just keep flicking colors in and just getting more and more strands. I tried using a colorless blender once and I really did not like the way that turned out. It just did not look good. With your AF matte. So the AF matte sharpener really doesn't chew up a lot of whatchamacallit, your pencil lead. I did a video on it showing how you don't actually lose much at all. Because I had quite a few people commenting on using that, and I was like, I actually lose more lead using a stupid Chagall. So the Doll 133 doesn't chew up a lot of your lead either, but who wants to sit there and hand crank and sharpen pencils all day? I sure don't. Just trying to define this little wispy. I mean, Procolour, even when they're not on sale, are pretty flippin' cheap for what they are. I mean, these actually have decent light fast ratings too. And they are an artist grade pencil. They're not some like crappy little thing. But yeah, they're pretty decently priced. Fun fact though, like if you go back in my video history, you'll see that I used to hate Procolour. I like legit hated these things. So it's like, I'm sharpening, by the way. But yeah, when I first got these, I swatched them and I'm like, oh my gosh, these are the hardest pencil I've ever encountered. And then I think I was doing like a collection video, and it was maybe my first collection video. I mentioned how much I hated them. But Like one day I was sitting there and I was like, I want some really like fine lines, and I just want to be able to add tons and tons of layers. And then I thought, oh, maybe the Procolour will work for that. So I just pulled them out one day and tried it. And then now look at me. I'm like, hey, I'm like Procolour now. But that did not happen with the Holbeins. I kept trying the Holbeins and still hated them. So not all pencils redeem themselves, but the Procolour did, because I legit was about to throw these things out the window. And then I discovered that they were so awesome for hair. And now look at me. I'm like buying them open stock. You had an electric mat that chewed up your Prismas? Ooh, which model was it? Because, yeah, that's no bueno. Yes, Blick carries Procolour. So does Jackson's. I'm trying to remember. So it depends on when I'm buying them and what I'm buying. Like if I'm putting in a Prisma order, I'll usually grab some Procolour at that time. Or if I'm buying some watercolor on Jackson's, I can grab them there. But yeah, there's quite a few places you can get these open stock. And Blick is one of them. You can actually go into Blick as well, the store, if you have one locally, and play with them if you want. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Tegall because it does dull out pretty quickly, the little blade on it. However, I do like using it for when my pencils start to get really short and nubby, and they're like these kind, where it's rounded edge, so I can't buddy tape. Because my Prismas, I just literally tape the ends together and then I just sharpen all the way through. But yeah, I can't do that with the Derwents. So I use my Tegall for those. But the problem with the Tegall is like the blade does dull out really quickly. And you have to be careful because you'll just chew up your pencils and start breaking the wood on them, especially if it's a more delicate pencil. But it does do that nice, like shorter point, like the Prismas come. If you enjoy that kind of sharpen. When you're doing hair, I don't recommend that point though, because you'll be sharpening every 5 minutes, but to each their own. I have a few comb sharpeners. I just absolutely hate turning. I'm not coordinated. Let's see. Yeah, I do like the doll, although I don't like, because I had bought the doll, oh gosh, before COVID. No, I guess it was after COVID. Yeah, it was after COVID. But it was back then it was like $10, and now it's like it ranges anywhere from 18 to 20 plus, depending on when you buy it. So my first doll broke, and I went to go replace it, and I was like, I'm not paying that. So I waited till it dropped down to like 17 and bought it. But yes, I don't know what happened there. Some serious inflation on that sharpener. I haven't even looked actually recently to see how much that Tegall is going, or not Tegall, the doll is going for these days. Be curious to see. Yeah, like the comb sharpeners are the German ones that you can replace. I just literally like, so I mean, technically when you're using a manual sharpener, you're supposed to turn the sharpener and not the pencil. I can't do that. Like I'm just not coordinated enough. I don't know. I legit struggle. So I break a lot of my Prismas if I use a manual sharpener. So I tend to like use something else, but I do like the comb. I just don't use them. And for some reason I have a bunch of them, but I think it was from art subscription boxes. They kept coming in like little art subscription boxes I was doing back in the day. Because I know I only bought like one comb, and yet I have like 6 in my little pencil sharpening box down here. I have a whole box of sharpeners just chilling. One thing that's interesting is like, so I use Black Widow for hair, and they're easier to get the pigment out of, but they layer up similar to the Procolours. It's kind of weird how that works out. Like, and I mean that in a good way. It's just interesting because I could color straight with a Black Widow, whereas the Procolour, I can't. Well, I could, but I'd be sitting there layering for 5 years. Yeah, I just yeah, my brain's like, no, this isn't right. You shouldn't be turning this way. That's kind of how I feel. I try so hard too, because I'm like, I've seen all the videos, all the lectures. You have to do it this way. That's what they told me. But I can't sharpen that way. I don't have the coordination. And I even like will put the sharpener in my dominant hand so that I would turn it with that one. And still I'm like, I can't do this. This is weird. I feel like I break more pencils just trying to do that than doing it the wrong way. But when you're on YouTube and you do it the wrong way, someone's going to tell you that you've done it wrong. Even though you know you're doing it wrong, you're just doing it for comfort. So I just stick to the pencils that I can't be criticized for my technique on, or pencil sharpeners. Trying to make this little wispy here lighter, because it's like this little strand is sticking on top of everything. Yeah, I might need to close my blinds. That sun is going down and it's right in my eyeball. Ugh. Well, I hear you on the different brands of pencils, although I'm trying to get my reviews up on those, like my stash of pencils, because quite a few I want to de-stash. I just don't use them often enough, and I hate watching them just sit there. And most of the time I bought them for reviews anyway. I didn't really buy them with the intention of using them. Others I did, and I just ended up not liking them. But I've noticed like I go for the same pencils when I'm coloring a page. I clearly have my favorites. Let's see. This one tucks under here. Okay. One sec, I have to change my blinds just a titch. Otherwise, I'm going to go blind with that sun in my eyes. Mark Arts. I haven't used the Mark Arts, to be honest. What's my favorite pencil for skin? Prisma. And then I would say Lumis are second, but Prisma is usually what I go to first. I have a combo with the Prismas that I've used for so long now that it's like second nature. I don't know. I can just lay down the skin a lot quicker. But I do like using Lumis. It's just I try to only use those on ones I know I'm going to hang up or gift or something, just because, well, every time you sharpen those, you're like, oh. Same thing with my Light Fast. Derwent Light Fast. I actually don't enjoy using Derwent Light Fast for hair. They're a little too soft and they leave a funky, I don't know, funky finish to your hair. But yeah, this skin is done with Prisma. It's not completely done yet. I have to wait till I finish getting the hair in, just so I can decide if I want to add more contour or blush or whatever. But yeah, this is with Prisma. Oh my gosh, I heard a weed whacker and got all excited. I looked out the window to see if my son was edging my front lawn, but it's the neighbor. Guess I'll know what I'll be doing tomorrow. Oh, so the reason I glue, I tape mine. I don't glue them, but the only thing about the blue tack is I would be afraid I would accidentally get it in my sharpener because sometimes I'm not paying attention and I do use an AF mat, so that thing moves fast. You gotta be quick. So, but no, that makes sense. That'd be a way to put them together for sure. Yes, I do. I do dark skin. Well, that was hard to say. Not as often as I would like, but gosh, you know what? I think it was all the way back in December. Was the last one I did. But it's something I've been kind of like practicing because it wasn't one I had quite figured out yet. So many different undertones to learn. But I think the combo back in December I was using kind of worked well. But yeah, it's something I want to do more of, especially because now there's more artists with more pictures out there that you can actually use the combos on. Yeah, I think it was December because I distinctly remember giving her like green hair and it was like a Christmassy spread. No worries, Pam. Thanks for hanging out. I don't have a tutorial on blonde. I need to make one. My blonde combo with Prisma and Procolour is quite simple. It's like 3 pencils. Rely on your natural white space. That's all I gotta say. But black hair, I don't think I have a tutorial for black, but I know I've done it in the live stream and shared the like I did the hair and shared the combo on there, but I don't think I have an actual video for black. In fact, I have it. No, it's not hanging up in here. I wonder where, Yeah, because I know I have two that I think I've done on live stream with black hair. I thought one of them was hanging up in my studio, but I guess not. But yeah, if you go through my live streams, I know there's one with black hair. I think one was done with Loomies, and the other one, not sure. It wasn't Procolours. I know I haven't done a Procolour black one on camera. So I'm trying to think what it would have been. Maybe Polly's? This seems to be darker because it's tucked up under here. I mean, I have like a whole list of hair tutorials still to do. I just kind of took a break from it because it was like I was doing quite a few a week and got a little burnt out. I like coloring hair, so I didn't want to like hate coloring hair from there on out. The black one I know was a Halloween picture. Because I know it was a Kundink's art pic or art. In fact, both black hair images I've ever done were Kundink's art. funny. But it's because she had this Halloween pack, 4-pack of images. But yeah, I know the black hair combo or live stream. It would have been around Halloween. Not last year, but probably the year before it, if I think about it. But it's can't remember the name of the image, but it's like a vampire chick and she's got spiders all over her face. Distinctly recall that. And I know that was on a live stream because it was a freaky picture. Yeah, I have a playlist for hair. I just don't know if I tick, like when I go to tick them for my playlist, sometimes I forget to add the live stream ones to the playlist for hair. So yeah, just in case you don't see it in there, then it's definitely around Halloween-ish in my live streams. I always mean to tick the box, but you know, sometimes a girl just gets lazy and it's like, well, whatever, it's a live stream today. I just don't have time for all these boxes. Light platinum blonde, strawberry blonde, golden blonde, and dishwasher mousy blonde. That's a lot of blondes. Yeah, the platinum blonde one, I haven't done any tutorials on. That's the one where I typically use just 3 pencils and really use a lot of the white space left on the paper. I feel like this is just, yeah, I don't like this little gap the artist left. It's gone now. I don't think I've done a strawberry blonde in a while. Golden blonde is quite easy. Just reach for those yellows. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Last time I did a dirty blonde hair color. I mean, my favorite hair color to color is purple, but it doesn't always work with every image. And I really like, for some reason, to do auburn colors. I don't know, the combo of the reds and the browns just make me happy. Oh yeah, YouTube is great. I mean, when I first started coloring, I learned from YouTube. In fact, I learned from Emily, if she's still here. She's when I first started coloring, oh my gosh, 6 years ago? 7 years ago? Yeah. I was watching one of Emily's super old video tutorials. She was coloring an apple. I can't remember what pencils it was, but it wasn't Staedtler, I don't think. It didn't look like Staedtler. Back then, I didn't know the difference between any of the pencils, but yep, you can learn a lot on YouTube. Auburn with some gray, white, and silver. Yeah, I could do that. Actually, that's pretty easy. I've done rainbow hair. I've done ombre hair. Hair's become something that's easy for me to do. It's just not easy to sit down and record it all the time. I can do it for myself. So I can sit there and color all sorts of hair combos for myself. But yeah, making a video, I'm like, I'm so tired. Yes, color with Claire. Claire was one of the ones when I first started coloring too. And then Julie's passion for, was it passion for coloring? She's actually one of the first I watched when I got my Prismas. and kind of helped me figure out how to use them, because I actually hated Prismas when I first got them. And then I was like, oh, I'm using these wrong. Then I loved them once I figured out how to use them properly. But yeah, I did quite a few of her color alongs when I was first starting out. A lot of her romantic country ones, in fact. So fun. Ooh, a monochrome. That'd be fun. Yeah. Let's see. Kitten Clowder. I still actually pay for Kitten Clowder because I have the Copic class, because I'm still like learning markers myself. But I also still do her Prisma ones for fun, because I just love the combos that she does. And I'm not going to lie, I absolutely love her voice. So I'm just like, she's just got the cutest voice. I love it. But yeah, I just love watching her tutorials. And what that woman does with markers, holy shimoly. She just makes it look so easy. And I am definitely not a pro at markers. I got lots to learn in the marker department. Oh, Chris Chang. Chris Chang is on a different level there. She's amazing is what she is. But I absolutely love, like, because she starts with her, light. So she'll start with her underpainting almost and like go through, and you're like, what the heck is that going to be? Or she like starts with her, light source. And I'm just, yeah, she's amazing. 50 colors and 50 layers later, you got like this gorgeous little petal. I tried following one of her tutorials and I was like, I can't do it. It's too much. But I love watching. Just sitting there watching her color is amazing. That woman is freaky talented. Like her eerie pages in Romantic Country, like it doesn't even look like it was line art when she's done with it. It's nuts. Well, don't let it, like, the thing is, if you follow someone's color along, don't get upset if yours doesn't turn out exactly like them. In fact, I recommend not trying to go copy every little detail. Like, put your own spin on it and what you're comfortable with, because eventually you're going to use the pencil the way you like to use it. Like, I mean, I figured out how to use Prismas from watching YouTube, but then I started using them my own way. And we all have like different pressures and preferences and all that. So, like, some of us like to layer, some of us don't. I don't. Absolutely loathe layers. Unless it's like hair, then I'm like, okay, I'm down for this. So I like to flick layers, but I don't like to just sit there and color them. But yeah, eventually you'll get your own spin on it, and you might get less frustrated if you kind of try and start finding or figuring out what you like from that person's style and then adding your own twist to it. It might help a little. And you'll still get a pretty picture. No, I need to sharpen again. Yeah, I'm kind of like that too. I just don't like layers. I mean, I accepted the fact that one must layer skin. So I've accepted that for the skin gods, we'll call them. Like, all right, fine, you win. But I use as few layers as possible to create skin. I'm not about to sit there and do 20 layers. But like with hair, I don't know. Something about hair, I don't mind sitting here and flicking in 1,000 layers. So, but it's very therapeutic. if I'm coloring skin, I didn't want to sit there all day. But at the same time, like, I can't get away with just, if I did this skin tone here with just one layer, it would look really yucky. So, and like I said, it's not even done. I have to go back after the hair's done and like her eyebrows and lips are done so I can decide what else she needs. There's nothing wrong with layers, actually. I mean, you can bring out a lot in a page using more and more layers. I just don't got time for that. Kind of like Marilyn says. I'm an impatient colorist. I find the fastest way to get out of it. Why do 10 layers if I can do 6? I mean, coloring is not a fast hobby, even if you don't like a lot of layers. I mean, no matter what, a page takes me a while. And I used to be like, oh, I get really upset if a page took me a week or, a few days. But now I kind of just accept it. Because it depends on the page. I mean, like, if I'm doing something with hair, I know that's going to take me a little bit. But at the same time, like, if I really wanted to belt it out, I could do a whole thing of hair in like 4 hours. But I don't know. Coloring is not a fast art. If you want to, like, be faster, then definitely color with markers. Markers are a lot quicker than colored pencils. It's one reason I'm trying to learn markers. I'm like, oh, this would be so much quicker if I just did this all on marker. Good night, Valerie. Yeah, mixed media speeds it up. The one thing I really want to work on with markers is like to be able to do portraits like this that I've done with pencil, but with markers. Like the entire thing. No, not just like a base coat, but like actually do the entire thing and make it look all realistic and crap. Like the freaking artists do. Oh shoot, what channel is it? There's this one artist that does stuff in marker and it is so freaky realistic. Crap, I'm gonna have to look that up now. Yeah, and they're all like speed coloring, so I don't know how long it actually took, but either way, it is amazing. I mean, if you like coloring hair and faces, just keep coloring them. I've just decided that's fine. That's why if you guys ever watch like my completed pages videos, I'm like, hey, look, I didn't do all portraits if I don't do all portraits that one time. Because most of the time it's portraits. But I'm like, that's what I feel like doing right now, I guess. That's my Zen mode. I'm leaving this blank because I'm going to go back and make that skin. If anyone's wondering why there's just a big gaping spot right there. But yeah, like, I mean, I get into these modes where like I only want to color flowers or leaves, or I want to sit and do portraits. I don't know. I've been on the portrait kick for a wee bit now. Just flicking in these little hairs so they look like they're actually coming out of her skin. That's the one thing, like if you're coloring hair, don't forget to actually make flicks coming off the skin, because otherwise it just looks like a big old line. So you want to make it look like it's actually coming out of her scalp, you know, like our hair actually does. But yeah, I've noticed if I force myself to color something that I don't feel like coloring just because I feel like I color too much of something else, then I get kind of bored. Uh, so here's a funny little fact about me. I actually hate coloring fur. It freaks me out. I don't know why. It's just shorter flicks. Um, but yeah, I would color fur similar as hair. And when I do actually color fur, I color it similar. It's just shorter flicks, but for some reason I don't find it relaxing. It stresses me out. Those shorter flicks are not as therapeutic, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I avoid fur like the plague. Which makes zero sense because I love to color hair. I get it. I know it's ridiculous. It's one of those things. I've got quirks. Oh, you're the same way about hair. See? So, it works. Yes, because I've been asked quite a bit if I would do fur tutorials, and I'm like, nah, I don't like coloring fur. Just not about that. Like if there's a cat in a picture, I'm like, oh shoot, can't color it. That cat is gonna ruin it. I don't know what it is. I just don't like coloring fur. It's not my thing. I think there was like a picture with like she had a fur coat or like a fur fuzzy thing for her hat. I can't remember. Oh my gosh, it took me forever to just like bring myself to color in that portion on a portrait. It's like, this is ridiculous. Seriously, just flick the hair. Like Mariola Budek has a really pretty image, but it's got like a ferret or something on it, and I won't color it because I don't want to color that fur. I'm like, now I'm good. And she has a few others with like fur coats and stuff. So I'm like, now I'm good. Hi, Long Fork. All right. Yeah, I mean, for some reason, like when I go to color fur, I've noticed I struggle to make those shorter little flicks. And so, like the first few times I've colored fur, it's looked a little choppy, I guess the best way to describe it. But, I mean, I approach it the same. I just absolutely do not like coloring fur. But I just, yeah, flick shorter flicks. And then I kind of always go for a nice shadow color. And then I have 2 to 3 colors that are like my primary color, then my shadow color, and then I always have a highlight color. And then from there, I may add more colors depending on what I'm doing. But like if I'm doing a red hair, for example, gosh, red hair. I don't think I've ever done a red hair combo that's fewer than 6 pencils. In fact, my favorite one is 9 pencils. Red hair is complex. It has a lot of colors. It's not just red. Oh, that'll be fun. Binding books. Are you just gonna like bind your own coloring books, or I actually have a binder. Whatchamacallit? What's that brand? I need to unload it because I'm never gonna use it. Cinch. I have a cinch. And I never use it. I bought it because I was going to use it for my coloring books, like when I buy the PDF version. And then, yep, never did. Shannon would be proud. Hate my printer. So my printer drum has a little something on it, so it leaves like a mark on all my pages. It always gets right there in my hair. And it burns it into the paper. So like even when you color over it, it's still there. Because that's a laser printer for you. And I keep telling myself I'm going to replace it, but I really don't want to try a new printer and then watch it doesn't print well with like my cardstock. Let's see. This one is looking choppy over here. It's like basically even when I do finish the hair, like this is like sort of done, but then I'll like come back and look at it from different angles and lighting and kind of be like, oh, that doesn't look right. Or I'll notice there's like a flick that I can see because sometimes you get sloppy or I didn't sharpen when I should have. But then I'll just like come back in and keep on adding more. But that only applies if I'm using Procolour or Black Widow. I actually don't go back over it as much if I'm using Lumis or Polychromos because they actually build up too quickly compared to these pencils, at least. And Polychromos are actually quite transparent. It's just when you sit there flicking them for hair, they build up their pigment quicker than Procolour. So I can't always go back and like fine tune things, or if I do, I start to wash it out. Yeah, like mine, it's not dirty. The printer drum isn't dirty. It's like actually scratched. I scratched it. I scratched it, pulling it out. So that is why it is perma leaving those marks on my pages. Because I have forever damaged it. And I will never live that down because I did it like a year into owning that printer. And I've just put up with it because I'm like, no. I mean, I could go probably find a drum for it on eBay, maybe, because they don't manufacture that printer anymore. But, I mean, at that point, I really just need to replace it. Probably gonna adjust that one. It's hard. It's interesting because, like, on my computer screen, the hair has like a different sheen. Like I said, after I stream tonight, I'm going to take a picture because like it looks a lot lighter in some areas. Like right up here, like these look lighter than they are. Let's see. Do you find Black Widow? Yeah, so I use Black Widow a lot with hair. In fact, that's why I added this one Black Widow because it happened to be up here. But I like Black Widow because for me, they hold their point pretty well. For skin, though, I don't usually use my Black Widow for skin. I usually I'll either go Prisma first or Luminance. But for hair, I like Black Widow. In fact, the combo Black Widow that was up here, in case you guys want a Black Widow hair combo, was, let's see, Midnight from Skin Tone Dark set, Mud from Skin Tone Dark, which I'm also using in this combo, Cinnamon from the Skin Tone Dark set. So basically just buy the Skin Tone Dark set. And then Foxy Brown, which is the, what is that again? That's the original Black Widow. That's right. And then from the Scorpion set, SC18, which I think someone said earlier was Dark Tan. But yeah, that was a combo that happened to be sitting up here. Because I used my Arctics, the little thingies that my Arctics came in. And this is what I stick my pencils in while I'm working on something. And they were just still sitting up here, which would explain why I couldn't find those the other day. Because I was using Black Widows. And I'm like, where's my Foxy Brown? Oh, it was sitting up here the whole time. I mean, Black Widows are good, but they're not like a absolute must. I mean, I would recommend if you've never used Black Widows to just get the original, the OG set first and see if you even like them. But like, I really like Black Widows for hair. I don't use them for skin, and then I really don't color with them that often, to be quite honest with you, outside of hair anymore. Occasionally I might break them out, but yeah, I don't really use them that often outside of hair. In fact, I have a huge case that holds like 500 pencils, and in it are my Polychromos, Procolour, Pablos, and Black Widows, and it's because I use them all for hair. That's the only reason they're all sitting in a case together, because when I'm doing a portrait, I just start grabbing them. Now, Polychromos I will use for things other than hair, but yeah, it's just kind of funny because that case is like my go-to pencil case for my hair pencils, so I put them all together. And that way I can combine them to make combos. There's nothing wrong with using like 3 colors at all. I mean, most of this page, the predominant colors are, I've got 4, I guess now, because I added that Black Widow. But yeah, I mean, the more colors you add just adds more depth, but it also depends on the color you're going for. I mean, when I use Prismas for hair, I end up using fewer pencils, but that's because I color hair differently with my Prismas. But again, I'm not really a big fan of using my Prismas for hair. You actually have to kind of play around with the fact that they're so opaque and use that. Instead of flicking in your colors, you're basically going on top of them. Oh, the Color watercolor pencils. Yeah, they're not too bad. I was quite surprised. I'm still finishing up my page from Sunday. I just haven't had time to finish things up, but they're actually quite impressive. I wouldn't say they're like a replacement for the artist grade ones by any means, but they work pretty well, considering it was like, what, 20-something bucks for however many I got. But, well, let's see, we're already past 2 hours, so I probably should get going for the night. Make sure my kids are getting ready for bed, because yes, we have a soccer game bright and early tomorrow. But I will take a picture of this so you guys can see the colors and more of how it actually looks. It's because my brightness is up too much. But yeah, I think I'm going to call it a night. I'm almost done though. I've got just a wee little bit left. So I'll probably finish that up tomorrow. But thanks everyone for hanging out with me, doing kind of like a WIP Wednesday live edition. And I hope you guys have a wonderful night. And until next time, yeah, take care, guys. Bye.